Everybody, welcome to the world's greatest Bronze Age comic book podcast, Flea Market Fantasy. I'm your co-host, Mike Carlin. As always, I'm joined by
Michael Dell of the LCS Hockey Radio Show.
That's right, and Jankuary continues with Kevin Jank's third appearance this month.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and
number 3.
12th appearance overall.
Holy hell.
Shattering appearance.
12 appearances.
Suck it, Miles Watson.
Yeah, wait till he hears about this. He's going to be irate. But, hey, by the way, well, maybe you should have talked to this before the show, but I just saw on the Twitter that the Best Independent Book Awards, which I have won and Miles has won, and they put out a tweet that just a couple hours ago that some celebrities have won the Best Independent Book Award, and Miles Watson was listed among the celebrities.
Come on.
How is he? I guess all his flea market fantasy appearances make him a celebrity.
That's right.
Wow.
So congratulations, Miles Watson, on being a celebrity.
Wait,
no
does that
idea.
mean Kevin Janke is a celebrity now too?
I guess. So
Wow.
Congratulations, Kevin Janke. You're
All
a
right.
celebrity as well.
Does that mean I'm going to win this award too, even without writing a book?
Well, you got to write
Yeah.
a book, but yeah, I mean, it'll just be a formality.
Halfway
you just
there.
Write a book and throw it in, and you're going to win.
Yeah,
But Michael, look
All
at
right.
us. We're star makers, Michael.
that's right.
Yeah.
We get nothing for it. Huh.
It's crazy. But anyway, yeah, Janke is here. His 12th appearance, third appearance of Jankuary. And this would have been a Mike L pick, but thank God Jank stepped in and intervened. And he said, no.
And
This
pick
is my
something I would have picked anyway, but go ahead.
Well, you would have picked the DC version.
Of course.
But Kevin Jank, tell the kids what you chose.
I chose the Star Comics version of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Woo!
Yeah, what issue?
Number 3.
Yeah.
Number 3 of the second series. Like, I think there was a 3-issue in like 1982 or something like that.
Correct.
This was like the more ongoing series.
But that-
which I think
yeah.
was,
But
like,
that threw
13
me
years.
off because the 3-issue, that was the DC one.
Correct.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
All right, so here's what happened. I did a little research on the Masters of the Universe. I'm sure, Mike, you probably know all this stuff, but I'll fill in the kids. I guess Mattel was pitched the idea for Star Wars toys in 1976. And their boss said, that sounds stupid. We don't want any part of it. So they went to Kenner. And then when they took over the world in the next few years, Mattel said, what the fuck did we do? What did we do? We screwed up. So they started searching for all kind of rival toy lines that they could release. And after a few misses, they settled on He-Man and the Masters of the Universe in 1981 was when they came out. So, Mike L., this was right in our wheelhouse. We were like 6 years old at the time. Jank, you're younger than us, so yeah, you probably missed out on all this fun then, Jank. Yeah, Mike L. and I are right there from the start with He-Man.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I wasn't there from the start. Like, I was definitely there as early as I can remember being alive.
Oh, all right.
Like, before Ninja Turtles took over my life, it was all Thundercats and He-Man for the first couple of years of my life. So,
yeah, I never got into Thundercats. But, yeah, Mike L., hey, do you remember where you were, Mike L., when you first saw He-Man and the Masters of the Universe?
Well, I remember seeing the first commercial for the toys, and I believe in the first commercial, I don't think they had Skeletor. It was just He-Man. It was like, you can fight He-Man against Beast-Man. And I remember seeing the toys and thinking they were so cool looking. And as you remember, the first, apparently there was, I remember this, but there was mini comics that came with the toys.
Yes.
You guys remember those?
Mm-hmm.
And those were a completely different continuity than these comics or the cartoon. I don't know if we're going to talk about those, but
yeah, the figures would come with a little mini book, and I think there were like 4 different mini books initially. Because I don't know, was it just He-Man, Skeletor, Beastman, and who was
Teela?
the fourth? Was she part of the first wave, or?
well, there was
Probably
but Merman was in there for sure. I think I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh no,
But yes.
sorry, it would have been maybe what's his name, either Man-at-Arms or Zodak.
Man-at-Arms? Yeah.
Because I remember in the original continuity, Zodak was a bad guy, and they changed it later.
So anyway, they had little comic books in there with them, and like Mike L. said, the story was similar, but a little different. And then when DC came in 1982 and did a 3-issue comic book series of He-Man, just a little limited, it wasn't even a mini series, oh my God, because weren't they usually 4 issues? They just did a 3-issue deal.
3-issue, yep.
A little tie. And it was written by Kupperberg. What was that? Is that Alan Kupperberg or?
I think it was Paul Kupperberg.
Paul Kupperberg. Who's Alan Kupperberg?
Less
It's his
successful brother.
Yeah, they're actually brothers. One's a writer, one's an artist.
Oh, okay.
Alan's the artist.
All right. So, the other Kupperberg, he was the writer, and George Tuska was the artist.
Right.
I looked at him this evening a little bit. And so that went for 3 issues, and they changed a lot of the story. They introduced the idea that Skeletor and He-Man each had half of the power sword, and that they needed both halves to unlock Castle Grayskull. That was their idea, DC. And they also introduced the idea that Teela was Man-at-Arms' adopted daughter. So that was one of the
I didn't even realize she was adopted. I just thought she was his daughter.
Yeah, I always thought that as well, but apparently she was adopted.
Oh.
So I guess, well, because Man-at-Arms is he's barren, he can't have the kids. He he's the blanks. But so yeah, that was the 3 issues there, and then Michael, the big cartoon came out, and I think was that 83 to 85.
So yeah, I'm not sure, around there. Yep.
It was only two.
Right.
It was only on for 2 seasons, but they did like 130 some episodes.
Right, I know, it was on every day. Crazy.
But that cartoon was, I watched a shit ton of that cartoon when I was a kid.
I lived off that cartoon.
Yeah,
It was the best.
It was the first thing I ever taped on my VCR. Yep.
Yep.
Oh, wow. That's pretty good.
I remember it was always on after Gilligan's Island over by me. So.
Oh, cool.
It's quite the combo right there.
Yeah.
Gilligan's Island and then, so what else? So the toy line then, or the toy line kind of started petering out around 86, 87. And hey, that's right when the comic book came out for Stars. And
Perfect timing. Yeah.
Timing.
So
buying up the hot licensing.
And then this comic book here from Marvel, it lasted 13 issues. 13 issues. And most of them, the writing team here, or the creative team here is, what's his Carlin.
Mike Carlin,
right?
yeah.
Mike Carlin is the writer. And he did, I think he did the first 8 issues. And then Ron Wilson is the artist. He did all 13 issues.
Mm-hmm.
And they also worked together.
Stamina, unlike Man-at-Arms.
They also worked together on The Thing. Remember, Ron Wilson did all the Thing issues there.
Oh, yes.
And Mike Carlin wrote about 8 issues of that, so they teamed up there as well. But Mike Carlin...
Got 8 issues, apparently.
Yeah, that's
No
where
more.
it taps out. But this Mike Carlin fella, he went on to be... Well, I recognized his name because I thought, have we talked about him before on the show? And I remember his name because when we did The Dazzler, and also was a Kevin Janke episode, Carlin, I remember reading his name because he wrote like the final 4 issues of The Dazzler or something. But he didn't do the issue we did on the show, but I remember encountering his name. But he really became famous, Mike, when he went to DC and he became the editor of the Superman books.
That's right. Yep.
And he oversaw the whole Death of Superman run, right?
That's right. Absolutely. And I'm not a huge fan of his era, to be honest, and I think he's kind of an asshole, but we won't talk about that. So,
So hey, Mike Carlin, if you're out there, buddy, not only did I forget your name, but Mike L thinks you're an asshole.
So have you interacted with him, Michael, or are you just basing it off of
I'm just basing on the fact
decisions
that
at that time?
he publicly said he would never hire Grant Morrison or Mark Waid to write Superman, and that's why I think he's an asshole. So.
I don't know. Doesn't sound like that bad to me, but all right.
Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know if we need like Superman stories about sex magic and shit like that.
Well, some of us do.
So, all right. And then, of course, Ron Wilson, we talked about him on the show a few times, but with a Miles Watson episode, Ron Wilson drew that What If issue with Conan and Thor when we had Miles Watson on. And I think he also drew Wolfpack.
That's a lot of big muscle-bound guys, apparently. Oh, did he?
I think he did, right? Didn't he do issue 1 of Wolfpack? Or?
Oh, you could be right. No, that was Ron Wagner.
Ron Wagner?
Yeah, I think so.
Because they had... Well, I just looked at his Wikipedia page, and they had him doing first 12 issues of Wolfpack.
Okay.
But I don't know that. But I don't remember it being Ron Wilson style art when we read Wolfpack, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Remember that one had heavy inks. So
oh yeah.
No, yeah. It says created by Ron Wilson, so it had to be him. Yeah.
Yeah, but the inker was a good inker. Who was the inker?
Was it Tom Palmer?
No.
Yeah, hold on a sec. Let me Google it here. Our listeners are running to their laptops.
First of all,
Kyle Baker. Kyle Baker.
We don't have listeners. Yeah, Baker. Yeah, Kyle Baker. Yeah. That's right. So yeah, it didn't even really look like Ron Wilson stuff. It looked more like Kyle Baker stuff. That's right. All right. Anyway, so we've talked about Ron Wilson in the past. Don't need to get into that. He also did the WCW comic in the 90s, the wrestling comic.
Oh, okay.
But we can't do that on here because we're in the Bronze Age. So we can't go on
It's true.
if only there's a WWE comic from the 80s, Mike. Were there any? Like, how come Marvel didn't do a WWE comic in the 1980s?
That's a good question. Yeah. I don't know.
Especially since WWE they had to license the name Hulk from Marvel.
That's true, yeah.
Years, so you think they would have worked together, but yeah.
That's a good point. That is weird.
All right, anyway, any other background info we need about He-Man here, Michael?
I don't know. Only that, it was originally... Did you read the whole thing about Conan?
Well, yeah, Conan, sued him, right?
Well, yeah, because there's this whole theory that they only bought the rights to Conan. They basically said, oh, yeah, we're going to make a Conan line. And then they're like, but actually, we're just going to let the license run out. Then we're going to use all the, model or the casts or models that we created and just paint them different colors and use them for our own line. And that's what they did. And that's why Conan sued them, yeah.
But, the Conan folks lost the lawsuit there, didn't they?
I think so, yeah.
Really? How do you lose something that seems very cut and dry?
Well, I guess the argument would be this is totally different than Conan. This has high-tech sci-fi elements to it. It's not even.
He's got blonde hair.
Yeah.
Your guy has brown.
And yet, the other thing about the He-Man figures, they were 5.5 inches tall instead of the 3-inch G.I. Joe and Star Wars guys.
Just a little bit bigger than McMurray's dick.
That's a Letterkenny reference. But Michael, who was your favorite? The interesting thing about the Masters of the Universe is no one really liked He-Man, right? I mean, everyone liked all the other people, but He-Man was kind of stupid.
Well, I had He-Man. Yeah, I liked He-Man.
I don't know. When you're playing He-Man with your friends, no one says, "Oh, I got to be He-Man." No. You got all the other cool guys. I want to be the cool dudes. You can be He-Man.
Well, okay. In terms of characterization, He-Man at least had a personality. But yes, when you're talking about the toys, all the toys had better accessories and looked cooler. That's the one thing Masters of the Universe excelled at, was definitely coming up with cool looking characters.
Yeah, let's face it, Skeletor is way cooler than He-Man. When I was a little kid, I had Skeletor pajamas. That's right.
Yeah.
Really?
Huh. Yeah, they're awesome.
You're getting all the ladies in kindergarten.
You better believe it. But so, Mike, who would be your favorite Master of the Universe character?
So that would be,
or figure, or whatever however you want to look at it.
Absolutely, that would be Stratos.
Oh, the bird guy?
Yeah,
really?
So cool. Yeah.
They just ripped off Buck Rogers. Remember Buck Rogers had that bird guy?
Well, yeah, but that was also ripped off by Hawkman from DC, so I think everyone was drawing from the same source, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know about Hawkman. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, man. He's one of the lamest guys, I think.
Oh, no, one of the
best. He had those, even his wings weren't that good. They're just kind of they would clip onto his hand,
Yeah.
And then they had the nerve to make two of them, but just paint the wings different colors. What the fuck?
I didn't even know that. Okay.
They had a red one and a blue one. And they gave him different names. No, this is his cousin, Jimmy. Oh, all right. So I'll tell you, there's Jimmy. I got to get Jimmy now, too, I guess. All right.
Oh, yeah, but by the way,
battle.
For the record, the original 1981 lineup was He-Man, Man-at-Arms, Stratos, and Teela versus Beastman, Merman, Skeletor, and then not good or evil was Zodak. So Stratos is one of the originals.
He's Switzerland. Wow. He just sits the whole thing out. But, has teeth.
Yes, Stratos is always one of the lamer guys, I think. I don't know, Michael. You need to reevaluate your Masters of the Universe.
Never.
All right, Jank, who would your top guy be?
Oh, probably one of the Snake guys. I love those Snake guys. They were great.
I don't even remember the Snake guys. Who are you talking about? Snake
man.
Oh, you mean from the Hordak? Or no?
Yeah, there was a whole group of Snake guys. I think one of them was Rattler or something. He was a red guy. He was a rattlesnake.
Yes.
He would press the button on the back.
Oh, wait.
Would shoot out.
Hold on.
A really long neck.
You mean the Snake Men, and their names were King Hiss, Rattler, and Tongue Lashor.
Yeah.
I was out of Masters of the Universe when they came in. When was this, Michael?
King Hiss was great. He looked like a normal dude, but like the body part and his arm parts would come off, and then underneath it was just snakes. Like he had a big snake head and like snakes for arms and shit. Oh, he was the best.
All right. See, I don't know anything about those people. I was out of it by 86. I was like from 81 to 83 or 4 or something. So yeah, I had no idea those people even existed. My favorite would be Trapjaw, right?
Oh yeah,
he was cool.
Yeah, he was a badass. Yeah, like that a gun for a hand, and you could put different guns in there. Like, yeah, it's good stuff.
Can I point out though that in 1986, the bad guys were the Snake Men, the good guys, Flying Fist He-Man.
Yeah, okay? I don't know who that is either.
Not safe for the kids. Okay, we won't talk about him. But anyway,
yeah, man, Fisto. You know what they got up to together.
Yeah, I remember that guy. You know what else was lame was Fakor. Remember Fakor?
Oh yeah, I had Fakor.
They just take He-Man and paint him blue.
Yeah.
And no one could tell the difference. He's tricking everybody because he's blue.
Yeah.
You can see he's blue. Who's he faking? He's not trick. I don't know. What about Mechaneck? The guy with the
I remember Mechaneck.
Yeah, Manny Faces, where he could switch.
Oh yeah, Manny
faces around.
I had him too.
Ram Man was always a favorite.
Yes.
He was hard to find. Like when I was trying to back then, I had to go to all these different stores to try and find Ram Man. It took me a while to find Ram Man. It was quite the pursuit. Yeah.
He was different.
About there's like a what's his name? Suckor. He gets spit water. He's like a leech.
Oh no! It was a Cobra Khan. I had him.
Yes, Cobra Khan. Me too. He was great.
Why am I thinking there's like someone called Suckor?
No, I think there is a leech. Leech.
Leech had like the suction cup mouth.
Yeah. Leech, Mantena, and Grizzlor and Modulok were part of the Hordak's evil horde.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then I do remember some of the Hordak people. Because Hordak, who is the villain in this here issue we're reading today, he was actually created for Sheena, or She-Ra.
She-Ra, yeah.
She-Ra, I confuse all my Sheena Shears. Yeah, because She-Ra
no China Roberts in this one.
Yeah, she was He-Man's sister, yet she was on another planet.
Right.
Yep.
Because He-Man was on Eternia, and She-Ra was on Etheria, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And Hordak was basically her Skeletor.
Right, 100%.
Yet here in 1986...
It was much less better, his terrible taste in picking a home, apparently, because he just kind of lives in a couple of rocks.
Oh, I don't remember that, did he?
On this very issue, we'll see his hideout. Not so good.
He's got a pretty good look, though, to him, Hordak.
He's pretty cool, yeah.
But Skeletor's the man. He's the tops. You can't get any better than Skeletor. So.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Just being a skeleton dude.
And then, Michael, they made that Masters of the Universe movie. Dolph Lundgren as He-Man.
Oh, I just watched it again last year.
I saw it in the theaters when it came out.
Yeah, me too.
I was probably, 6, 7 years old, and even then I could tell it was terrible.
Yeah, it was garbage.
Wasn't Courtney Cox in that?
Yep, yeah, she was,
Yeah, I liked Courtney
Cox. And the
Cox.
guy who played Tom Paris from Star Trek Voyager.
Oh, was he the guy? Yeah, that's right. Wow.
Idea.
Huh.
Stinkor. Remember Stinkor?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a skunk.
I think he was the last one I ever bought.
He was good.
Yeah, I loved him. Moss Man, where he was all like flocked.
Oh, yeah, Moss Man was cool. Yeah.
He was... Yeah, see, Mossman was Beastman painted with green moss, and then Stinkor was Merman, just painted black and white.
That's right. And they had the guy look like a bumblebee.
Oh, you mean Buzz Off? Yeah.
What a name.
I think, Jank, you mentioned, was it Fisto, the guy with the big metal hand, or...
Yeah.
Yes.
And then there was like an Asian fellow with a golden like karate chop hand.
Oh, Jitsu.
Jitsu.
Yeah.
These guys are great.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Remember the guy with all the guns? He was like an Old West sheriff type guy. And he had like all these guns. Like one came out of his chest, and like big ass gun would come out of his chest.
Wow.
I don't remember that at all. That must be a later guy.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had like a backpack that would slide up and become like 2 giant guns, and he had guns like come out of his hands and his knees and stuff.
Really? You don't remember his name?
What was his name?
I think it was Doug.
It was like Rio something.
It wasn't Cyclone, was it?
No, I had him too. I think he was the blue guy. It spins around a lot, right?
Oh, wait. You mean Real Blast? Yeah, Real Blast.
Yeah, that's
Rio
it.
Blast.
I'm looking at him right now.
Terrible
Wow.
name.
I don't know if you should be using Earth references for your, Rio Grande, like Rio Blast. I don't know if you should be doing that with it. But
Maybe they like Duran over there.
Yeah.
for the next hour, let's just name random characters from Master of the Universe.
There you go. People want to hear that.
Yeah. Who was the evil sorceress with Skeletor? Like, she was the lady with the yellow
Evil
skin.
Lynn?
Evil Lynn, yeah.
You know, it took me until I was like a teenager to realize the pun of like Evelyn. I didn't realize that.
Oh, well, Mike, it took me until I was 46 to get that pun because I never realized it until you just told me. So don't feel so bad.
All right.
All right. Well, let's get to the book. I guess let's look at the cover here. Take it away, Michael.
All right. So, yeah, like we said, Masters of the Universe #3. We got Star Comics in the top left. So this is this imprint of Marvel, Star Comics. We got an awesome picture of He-Man with his sword up in front of Battle Cat. It's a real cool shot. We got the classic Masters of the Universe logo. I should also point out that the toys in the comic are called Masters of the Universe, but the cartoon was called He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Just a little note there.
Okay.
So yeah. So anyway, so then on the cover here we've got. I'm assuming this is one of the play sets, but it's this giant skull with a crossed eyes, and it's like dripping like goo.
It's vomiting.
Like vomiting.
Prince Adam.
And then on the all over Prince Adam, and there's this big claw coming up that's kind of like holding him in an awkward place, if you know what I mean.
By the cock and balls.
Yeah, there you go. I can't say it in the air, but and on the
it's got 3 fingers, 2 of which are grabbing his legs. Okay, but then the middle one is just there to caress his ween a little bit.
Yeah, you're right.
That's all
You're right.
it's doing.
And then on the left we see Hordak, who, like in victory, he's laughing in victory. Ha 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 ha! He's won. And then on the right we see Orko from the cartoon, and Orko is saying, "Oh no, Prince Adam is being slimed in Hordak's slime pit. But what can I do?" And then at the bottom there's a little arrow that says, "Find out inside."
Yeah.
That's it.
This is mostly why I ended up picking this issue of all the issues of the series, was because I was picturing the thumbnail, just He-Man getting jizz poured down on top of him. And Orko being like, "Oh no, he got slimed."
Yeah, it is. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together here with it being a play set because I don't remember the play. But clearly, this was a marketing ploy, right? They had a play set to sell, so putting in the comic.
Which I mean, the slime pit, great toy. I never had it, unfortunately. But obviously, when you're a kid, you like dumping slime on things.
Right.
In a comic book, maybe not so much.
Right.
Maybe not the best thing to carry a full issue.
Yeah.
So let's describe Hordak, though, for those who don't remember. He kind of has he's kind of like a bat, really, because he got a little bat logo on his chest, a red bat logo, and a black chest. And around the arms and the neck, he's got little bones, like delineating the costume.
Lining
so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And his face is kind of like a bat.
Right. But I never noticed this, but he has the exact same belt and like underwear as He-Man. I guess they all had very similar design. Yeah.
I'm wearing my furry underpants right now because it's a tribute to Masters of the Universe. What about Orko, though? I'm a big fan of Orko. I don't know. How do you feel about Orko?
I kind of didn't like him, but I can understand why they put him in there. But yeah.
I liked him back in the day. I don't know how well the humor would hold up these days, but when I was a kid, I loved him.
Yeah, for those who don't remember, Orko's a little magician guy. He just floated around. He doesn't have legs. He's wears a big orange hat and a purple shirt,
right,
with a big O on it, and you just see his eyes. Yeah, his face is all in shadows, so you just see 2 yellow eyes peeking out from the shadows, and he's blue. I guess his hands are blue, his ears are blue. Yeah, Orko. He's pretty good.
The only bad thing was the toy of Orko, I remember, wasn't that much shorter than the rest of them. Even though he's clearly supposed to be much smaller. But he was kind of
good point.
So when we mentioned Prince Adam, because of course it's like his Clark Kent,
right?
And then Michael, how does he turn into He-Man, Michael?
Everyone knows he puts his sword up and he says, "I have the power," and then all of a sudden
isn't there a line before that? There's a line before that.
Yeah.
Is it? What is it?
Jank.
By the power of Grayskull.
By the power. How could I forget?
Yeah.
Yeah. By the power of Grayskull.
If you just say I have the power, then I think you just get a Nintendo Power Glove on.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, how could I forget? And then he just magically appears in front of Castle Grayskull. Then he grabs the sword and he turns into He-Man, and then he points it at Cringer, who becomes Battle Cat.
Yeah. That's another thing why I like about He-Man is he has a cat.
Yeah.
A big cat. So, yeah.
And the other thing we should point out...
I didn't like Thundercats when it's all cat.
I know, it is weird. It is weird. Yeah.
We should point out also, Prince Adam looks exactly like He-Man, except he has like pink pants and like a red shirt and like a white undershirt.
Yeah, it's not even like he's
not
skinny.
quite as muscular.
Yeah,
he's still jacked.
You
know,
he's
still,
like they could have made him like a skinny little kid or something. Yeah, he's like super huge anyway. So what does it matter?
Yeah, it's not like he's Peter Parker in the the Ditko days. He's just a little wiry dude.
Hey, before we get into the actual book here, looking at the creative team, did you notice who's on inks? Dennis Janke.
I didn't even notice that.
He spells it with an E though.
Yeah.
So,
Janky.
Yeah. Disavowed those.
What a coincidence, eh? We can only review books inked by Dennis Janke.
Here we go.
He has strict rules.
That's right. The Garden of Evil is the title of the book, Mike. On the big splash page, we got Prince Adam going at Orko. They're having a fight on the splash page. Orko and Prince Adam.
Yep, and it's obviously meant to mislead you, but there's all those explosive lines behind them. So he's swinging his sword at Orko, and then Yoko. And then turns out they're just having fun, right?
Yeah, they're having a little friendly little fight,
right?
And,
yeah, trying to see who's the best.
I gotta say, we'll get to this later, but I personally, again, this is going back 30 years, but I thought that Orko, his speech pattern didn't match the way he was in the show. Did you guys think that too?
I have no idea. I didn't notice.
Because
I remember his voice being kind of quirky, but I don't remember him having any weird speech patterns per se.
Well, so what I mean is at some point in the book, we'll get to it, but he calls He-Man cocky. And he gets kind of mad at He-Man. I don't know. It just doesn't seem to fit his characterization. Put it that way.
I could hear you there.
Yeah.
He does seem a little confrontational throughout.
Yeah,
they're having this little fight, but really Orko in the cartoon, he's just a goofy little
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I did have one issue with this series when I was a kid, and I remember in that one, Hordak, he thinks Hordak killed his sister or somebody from his world, and he goes fucking nuts, and he's trying to murder Hordak and shit like that.
Wow.
It got dark. But then turns out he wasn't really dead. But yeah, he stepped up in that one.
Because in the cartoon, wasn't Orko always really timid and scared as well?
I think so. Yeah, from what I remember.
I don't know.
Yeah, just kind of klutzy, I think, more than anything.
So, all right, so they're having a little battle. It's he's trying to see if his magic could beat his power sword.
Right.
Adam's power sword. And,
and so Orko's mad because he's like, "Oh, I thought you weren't going to use your power sword," and then Prince Adam's like, "I never said I wouldn't, Orko, buddy. It was your mistake to assume as much." So yeah, they're kind of having a little argument here, and then Orko uses his magic to create an electrical energy field around Prince Adam, kind of
Crimson Bands of Sidorak.
yeah,
what's that?
The Crimson Bands of Sidorak from Doctor Strange.
Oh, okay, yeah, there you go. But then He-Man uses his power sword to kind of cut through the energy, right? So he breaks free. And then somehow turns them into lightning bolts that shoot against Orko and kind of pin him up against a tree trunk.
Yep.
And so then when that's over, Prince Adam's like, "Say uncle yet, pal?" And Orko's like, "How humiliating." And then Prince Adam's like, "Ha ha ha." And then Cringer's like, "I'm glad that's over." And that's the end of that scene. And then, like Jank said, we cut over to Hordak's headquarters, which is basically, it's kind of like a rock underneath the tree.
It's like a rock formation making the McDonald's arch, and then one of the arches has a shitty bamboo gate on it.
Right.
Remember Snake Mountain that Skeletor had? That thing looked badass. Yeah. It's just a fucking hovel.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Guy's dream or something.
Hordak has seen better days.
Yep. So then I guess Hordak's got some new troopers here. They're these robots, right?
Yeah, robots.
Yeah.
Robots. And they're called Horde Troopers.
Of course they are.
Yeah, and
The
he's gonna
Horde Troopers.
and he's going to have them kidnap Eternia's most powerful being, which of course is He-Man, right?
Yes.
And I didn't realize this. His headquarters is called the Fright Zone. So he's like,
That's
not
a cool
returning
name.
to my Fright Zone without the blonde swordsman I call my enemy.
Well, I think the Fright Zone is like the entire dimension they're in, right?
Oh, okay.
Like
Okay.
not necessarily.
Well, they're in Etheria, but I guess
they
maybe
are?
it's- Yeah.
Yeah, I think Hordak's in Etheria. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so like the Fright
Maybe
Zone
it's
would kind of
their,
be
like,
like the
their
neighborhood
region, I guess.
in Etheria. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Their hood.
Stay out of Fright Zone after dark. You know what I'm saying? Roll up your windows.
Roll them up.
Yeah.
So then we cut back to because here it says back on Eternia. So back on Eternia, He-Man and Orko are still, joshing, and then all of a sudden these robots appear out of nowhere.
The Horde Troopers.
Yeah, the Horde Troopers, and they're like, "We have come for the most powerful being in your world." And then Orko was like, "Well, that counts me out." Wah wah wah. Right. So then the robots shoot at Prince Adam, but he dodges out of the way. And he's got his sword with him, and he uses it to trip one of them. So that
But here's what we need to remember here: they came to kidnap He-Man. That was their mission.
I'm going to point out something, and I'm sure maybe you guys picked up on this. I think that the artist drew the story, and then the writer was like, "Oh shit, this makes no sense," and he had to add in a bunch of dialogue. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yes. Later on, there's a lot of
Right.
back exposition trying to make things fit,
Right,
which it
right.
still never did. But
Right. So basically, for the listeners out there, in front of these robots, Prince Adam puts up his sword to turn into He-Man, which we should remind the listeners is his secret identity. He's not supposed to do that. So he puts up
but for
his sword.
some reason, he's got like a spidey sense feeling where it's okay to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
But they don't say that here. They say it later, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's bad. So he
But what-
puts go
but what
ahead.
He does say here, like, I think I can get away with transforming right in front of them. Like, why would you think that?
Right.
Even
Right.
if you're not worried about them knowing your identity, which you should be,
Yeah. Okay.
they're
So at
still
least
going to
they say it
attack
here.
you. Like,
Right.
go somewhere where they can't attack you while you're
Right.
doing it.
But my concern is they were sent there to capture He-Man, yet they start attacking Prince Adam
Right.
because they
Good
think
point.
he's He-Man because he looks exactly like He-Man.
Yes.
These robots
yes.
can get confused, but no one else in all of Eternia can figure it out. It's
Yeah.
like, what?
Well, Hordak flat out sees him later on and still was like, what? I don't know what happened.
Right.
He-Man? I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So Prince Adam, like Michael says, he trips up a robot. The robot cracks his head. And then he goes to transform into He-Man, but then a robot shoots him in the ass with a laser beam
Yeah.
and knocks him unconscious.
And I think this is the first time I've ever seen He-Man stopped mid-transformation. I don't think that ever happened in the cartoon.
Yeah.
So he's like, by the power of grit, and then whoosh, gets shot. I have the arg, and he falls over.
I have the ARG.
And then,
It'd be great if just like one part of his body got transformed.
yeah, that'd be funny.
Like he's just got He-Man's feet.
Yeah. But then so then he drops the power sword, and the robots off panel, you can hear them saying, he is down, take him and his weapon. So then they grab Prince Adam, they grab his weapon, and then they walk away. I don't know why they have to walk away because they're going another dimension, but they walk away, and then again, this is where Orko is a little bit out of character, and they're like, because Orko's like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? And Creature's like, nothing, and Orko's like, we'll have to save him, and he might not be so cocky about that stupid sword anymore. Again,
Yeah, that doesn't sound like Orko at all.
No, that's
Yeah.
not Orko.
Yeah.
But then it's funny because then Orko's like, okay, let's see. First, we've got to. Gee, I don't know what to do first. Adam's doomed, so it's kind of funny.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah. So then anyway, now this is where it gets wonky. So we cut over to Etheria. We see all the robots with Prince Adam laid before Hordak. And he's like, okay, oh yeah, I love this dialogue. So he's literally 7 feet away from He-Man, but Hordak is like, bring him closer, Trooper. I cannot see his shame at being captured so swiftly by mindless minions such as yourselves. No, you idiots! This is not the man I met on Eternia. This is not He-Man. How could you have been so stupid?
This guy looks just like He-Man. It's totally not He-Man.
He's wearing a red shirt.
Yeah.
He-Man never wears a red shirt.
Right. So then Hordak's like, this man looks nothing like He-Man. He's not half the size nor half as powerful as he. Hey, what's that? That sword. It's his. That's He-Man's sword. So he looks exactly like He-Man. He has the same physique and he has a sword, but it's clearly not him.
Yeah, if you ever thought like the Clark Kent thing was stupid, at least like he's wearing glasses and does his hair different.
Right.
I mean, man doesn't bother. He's got the same fucking haircut.
Right.
It's exactly the same.
So then Hordak's like, this. He draws the logical conclusion. He's like, this must be He-Man's slave, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So
Obviously.
he takes the weapon or the sword from He-Man, and I didn't know if this was the thing from the cartoon, but he gets kind of like zapped, like electrocuted by the sword, right?
Yeah. Whenever he touches it,
Right.
zaps. Hey, was that a thing, Jank? Do you remember that being in the cartoons? I don't remember that at all.
I don't remember that either. But you think again, like the fact that it zapped him, if someone other than He-Man gets zapped, and He-Man was or Adam was carrying this fucking thing around,
That's right.
like clearly he's fucking He-Man.
Right.
Deductive reasoning there can, yeah. So, right.
So yeah, so he gets zapped, and then he's like, "Oh, the cursed sword protects itself." And so then he tells the robots to take him away. And he's like, "Take this human to the slime pit." So then we see a big one-page, like a splash page advertisement for the toy.
Yeah.
Of He-Man getting slimed by this cross-eyed skull. Slime pit.
Getting grabbed on the cock and balls.
Right. Then we cut back to Eternia, and Orko and Battlecat are still trying to figure out what to do, right?
Well, Cringer. It's Cringer.
Or yeah, sorry, still Cringer, not Battlecat. And basically, Cringer was following the scent, but then he lost it, and they can't figure out why they lost it because I guess they don't know that they transported there to another dimension. So then we cut back, see a brief shot of He-Man. Then we cut back to Orko and Cringer, and Orko decides he's going to use his magic to open a portal into time and space.
Because he remembered that those Horde Troopers had bats on their chest, just like that Hordak fella. So he's like, oh, yeah, that's right. Hey, I'll teleport us to where Hordak is. Yeah, I don't know.
Some detective work. So then,
I like it.
Yeah, so then Cringer's scared to go into the portal, but then Orko's like, come on, you big baby, and kind of like throws him in. So then
You
they
think
go
it's weird, before they get there, when Orko's going to conjure up his magic, we get a shot of Orko from behind. Like, that was a weird panel, right? Like,
yeah, that is weird, because, yeah, you're right, yeah.
why wouldn't you just show him from the front, you know?
I guess because they're showing where he's going to create the portal.
I guess, but there's nothing there to really
that
show.
blank
Yeah.
space.
Yeah. I mean, it's just...
Uh-huh.
Anyway, but yeah, they create the portal, and then Orko shoves Cringer through because Cringer didn't want to go through there because, he's a scaredy cat. But then Orko goes in, and they're like, oh, I don't know where we're at. We better light a match or something. I don't know. They can't see. Or...
Yeah, so they're like walking through, and then we cut back to Prince Adam, and he's still getting slimed. And then, what's his name? Cringer is now picking up the scent, right? He's picked up the scent again, but they get confronted by the robots or the troopers or whatever they are. And then, Orko starts flying around them to kind of distract them. And then Cringer is behind the robots. He's like, I'll get that little weasel for this. I hate doing this. I sure hope Prince Adam's in this cave. So I guess they snuck past the robots, right?
Yeah, I guess Orko just flew around, distracted him, so Cringer could crawl past them.
Right.
But,
So then they come across Prince Adam, and he's still in the Slimer, the slime pit.
Yeah.
And
It's just kind of weird that the slime pit's just on like a top of a cliff where the slime just all rolls off. It's not like it builds up over time. It just kind of all rolls down the cliff. And if He-Man just keeps his head, pushed forward enough, he'll be all right.
yeah,
Totally
it's not like it's going to kill him. It's just making him uncomfortable.
You're right. Yeah.
This is just a torturous thing. I don't know.
Good point.
Just don't like being sticky.
Yeah. So then Orko and Cringer, they see He-Man's sword on this little like rock. And Orko's like, the sword! Oh, the sword! Gotcha, Adam. But he's actually not trying to tell him to pick it up. He's like, Orko, no, don't. But he's like, oh, no. That was Hordak's plan all along, right? To stop him from talking, I guess. because now he's got slime in his mouth. Everyone's
he's trying to warn Orko, don't touch the sword or you're going to get zapped. But Orko's like, oh, he wants the sword. So Orko's going to go grab the sword. And then Orko starts daydreaming, Michael, right? About how powerful he could be with the sword.
This is almost like a Three's Company misunderstanding. He's like, don't let Hordak get the sword. Right, I'm on my way. And then Hordak's like, it's that little purple man. He-Man must be close behind. And this is kind of awkward because... yeah, like Hordak's standing like 5 feet away from them as this is all happening. Like they're all going. So then like Orko flies towards the sword. He's just about to pick it up. Yeah. Then like Mike Dell said, he starts fantasizing about he's like got a He-Man body with an Orko head, so it's kind of funny.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And he's cracking Hordak across the chest with the sword. He's like,
right. And then he's just about to touch it, and he's like, "Oh, everyone would look up to me. I'm mere inches away from glory. I'll never need my magical powers again." And then Hordak's like, here we go. And then Prince Adam's like, oh, Orko, don't touch the sword, please. But then right at the last minute, he's like, I'm Orko the magician. I'm the best at what I do. I'm the best at what I do, just as He-Man's the best at what he does. So he decides to use magic instead of just grabbing it, right? So then Hordak's like, no, you're an inferior being. You must touch the sword. And then...
which again, like I don't know what Hordak was expecting. Like it gave him a little bit of a shock, but nothing severe happened to him. So if Orko touched him, what's it gonna do?
I think in Hordak, I think he says at one point, if an inferior being is someone not as powerful as me, would probably be dead right now. So he assumed that because he was so powerful, that's why he survived. But if Orko touched it, Orko would just be destroyed. So yeah. I don't know.
Right. So then Hordak realizes that Orko's not actually going to grab it. So then he calls for his Horde Troopers. Horde Troopers, to my side! We must stop them before they vanquish my plans. So then Orko is now kind of like magically carrying the sword over to Prince Adam. Prince Adam grabs the sword. And then guess what? By the power of Grayskull, I have the power. He turns into He-Man. Big splash page. It's great.
Breaks out of the slime pit, and Hordak still can't figure out that was He-Man in there the whole time.
Where did that slave go?
Yeah, it's so stupid. And then he turns Cringer into Battle Cat. He's like, good fellow Battle Cat, it's time for us to do a number on Hordak. Yeah, and then Hordak's like, what? The slime pit has exploded, and they're coming through the debris. He-Man, I knew with the little purple magician around, He-Man could not be far behind. This is not unfolding as I originally planned. Yet I did want He-Man, and now he's mine. Yeah. So anyway, so then they have the Horde Troopers are there. So then He-Man and Battle Cat fight the Horde Troopers. They basically smash them in 2 seconds, right?
Yep.
And then Hordak's like, you destroyed them, my Horde Troopers. You'll pay for this outrage. You'll pay by facing the peril of my hurricane of hate.
Which is what Mike L. calls it when he goes on Facebook, I think.
Well, Mike L., before we get to the hurricane of hate, that's after they destroy the robots. That's the bit where they isn't that where they He-Man says, "Oh, that's why I was going to change into He-Man before," and because they're robots, they wouldn't have known.
Right, yeah, in the thought bubble, he says, and this also explains why I sensed it would have been all right to change it to He-Man earlier. They wouldn't have understood who I really was. Yeah, that's really bad.
Yeah.
So Hordak, he unleashes his hurricane of hate, Michael, but how does he do it? Because it's pretty spectacular. Like,
it looks like he just swings his... is all those bats? What are those?
Yeah, it looks like he's holding a bat in his hand or something, and he starts swinging his arms, or I don't know what the hell's going on. But,
he was a baton twirler in high school, and it all paid off.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so then they're like... So He-Man and Orko are caught in the hurricane of hate. And then basically,
we get kind of like some Steranko stuff here in the background with like these. Yeah,
it's like a funky, like what would you call that? Like a.
I don't know. It's some sort of weird design, like LSD trip.
Yeah, it's probably created with one of those weird masks.
Oh yeah, like spirographs or something.
Yeah. And so, but He-Man and Orko are down but not out, so they're still coming towards him. And then Hordak's like, "Oh, still coming, eh? Well, I still have more weapons at my disposal, and like yourself, I have allies who will ride into battle with me. By the power within me, I conjure you forth. Come forth, my trusty Mantisaur." And it looks like a praying mantis, but it's like it's kind of like got metal. It's like made of metal, and he's like riding on it, right?
Yeah.
Not that intimidating.
I one right now.
I gotta tell you, not that intimidating.
No.
Right. So then this is kind of a weird ending. So then He-Man is on Battle Cat, and he's just about to kind of like lunge into battle with Hordak. But then Orko's like, oh my gosh, I can't let anything happen to He-Man. And he uses his magic to create a portal so that all of a sudden He-Man and Battle Cat just leap through the portal and disappear. And then Orko follows them. And so then they disappear from Etheria. Now they're back in Eternia. And then we see a little speech bubble where Hordak is like, curse you, He-Man, I shall haunt you forever until one of us is no more. And then Orko assumes that He-Man will be angry. He's like, you're not mad that I yanked us out of there just when you're ready to fight? And then He-Man's like, I was impressed with your decision earlier about the sword. I know that using it would have meant to you. I know what using it would have meant to you. And so now I can question so how can I question such a mature decision maker's decision to get us out of Etheria when the getting was good? And then Orko's like, well, it was nothing really. And then Battlecat says, can we go home now? And that's the end.
Yeah, that's the end.
Yeah.
What a letdown that is,
Kind of. It's like they ran out of paper, right?
Yeah, they ran out of
that's what it
pages and
seemed
they had to
like.
wrap it up. Like in the wrestling business, Michael, they made Hordak look really strong, but they made He-Man look weak.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, at least it wasn't his choice, I guess. So,
But still,
that's
kids
the
are buying
equivalent
this
of, isn't that wrestling when they have someone interfere with the match? So it's like,
pretty much. Yeah,
yeah,
a DQ finish.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
a clean finish. But I mean, kids are buying this book to see He-Man fight Hordak. Let's go.
Right.
And then,
well, you got 13 issues to fill. You can't beat Hordak
That
right
is
now.
true. I guess that is
Where do
true.
you
That
go
is
from here.
That is what the wrestling promoters would do. They'd have the DQ finish. They'd string it along to the big pay-per-view. And then at the pay-per-view, you have the big match. But, I don't know. I wasn't a fan of this ending at all. I thought that was pretty lame.
Right.
It was pretty abrupt.
Yeah. So I like the message about Orko not using the sword to become someone he isn't, sticking with magic because that's who he is. But I think they could have drilled that home a bit better here at the end. Like, they kind of gloss over that. Like, for the kids out there, that'd been a good lesson. Be who you are, be true to yourself and all that. But they don't really hammer it home too much.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, unfortunately, unlike the TV show, they don't have that, PSA at the end. Where they would teach you about a lesson.
Would have been a nice little ending there in the last panel there, but instead we just get, can we go home? All right, sure, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's just go home and get a pizza. I don't know. What do you want to do? And why didn't Hordak, wouldn't it have been better if Hordak was the one who, made the decision to, all right, I'm out of here. And he teleports them back to Eternia because he doesn't want to fight. He's like, I don't want to fight He-Man. He's going to beat the hell out of me or something, that way you make He-Man look strong and Hordak is still a weasel heel. But here it's the other way around. Because why doesn't Hordak just teleport himself to Eternia and finish the fight?
Good point. Yep.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah. That is a good point.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I can't say this was the strongest comic book in terms of plotting.
No, not really.
Not so much.
Jank, any other thoughts on this here story, Jank?
I think we covered it all. There really wasn't. Well, it kind of felt like reading one of those mini comics.
like Hordak was after my time. Again, I wasn't into, again, he was a She-Ra guy. He came in later. But was that a thing he actually did? If you squeezed his waist or something, his arm spun around, to make that hurricane? Was that a gimmick he had? Or
I don't remember that. No.
Huh.
No.
Because that is very odd that he just started spinning his arms around.
I mean, I guess it's possible. The Hulk would do that clap where it would just be a huge, wave of energy based because he clapped because he's just so damn strong. So I guess if you're just fucking really strong and you swing your bat thing around, it'll make some wind gusts.
Hurricane of hate. Yeah. I don't know.
It is weird that he's so concerned with He-Man and Eternia when he hasn't even conquered his own world yet. Maybe
really.
She-Ra first.
Good point.
Take care of your own business there, Hordak. Clean up your own house before you go over to Eternia. Now, Michael, I heard, I don't know if this was, retcon later on or something, because there have been other subsequent Masters of the Universe comic book series. I guess DC had one for 76 issues or something.
I don't think it was that long, but
no, I think it was.
Okay.
It was. Yeah, 75 or so. But what I read, they made Skeletor he was an apprentice of Hordak at one point.
Oh, this is like the later continuity, you mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then
I did see a
they tried
video on that.
and then I think there's another version where they made Skeletor that disfigured, what's the word I'm looking for? Like part of the royal family that they didn't talk about.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
He was related to King Randor in some way.
Huh.
Yeah. I think that may have been the 2002 cartoon that did that.
Because
Okay.
in the original continuity, Skeletor was just from another dimension, and he came here to destroy Eternia, to take over Castle Grayskull and rule Eternia.
Right.
But so I don't know. But all right, well, the art here, Ron Wilson, it's pretty,
It's
he wasn't really trying that hard, I don't think.
no, I mean, because
No.
he's capable of much better than this. We know that. Like, this is just
This is
hacked
basically, hey, Ron, we need someone to draw a kid's book that no one's going to read anyway. So do you just want to push out some pages and get some money?
Right.
Sure, let's do that. And,
Yeah.
Can you draw a finger caressing a man's wiener?
you can. Yeah, it's not his best work.
right.
I thought it was solid enough on like Hordak and Orko and stuff, but He-Man's face kind of looked wonky in most of the pictures, and I was a
Right.
huge fan.
Yeah, just even the compositions in the panels were very rudimentary. I mean, it's a kid's book, whatever. You keep it simple, but
Right.
still could
Even
have been better.
there's not a lot of backgrounds in most of these, so
Right.
it's just kind of bare bones.
How'd you feel about Orko's magic? How they depicted that? It'd just be like blue and purple balls connected with lines. It's a little weird.
Not great. Yeah.
Kind of, dollar store Kirby Crackle.
Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
And the dollar store Steranko backgrounds with the firograph. So there you go. I don't know, Michael. Any other thoughts on this?
Not really. I can only say that, it's more for kids than the mini comics or the DC comics were, for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a kid's book.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I wish those mini comics were available somewhere, because I'd still like to read those.
Oh, but they are.
I'm sure I have
because
somewhere.
I
Mike L has
paid
them.
$50 for the hardcover collection.
What?
Oh,
Yes.
shit. Like,
It's
they're
a-
full-sized and everything?
Yeah, it's as thick as the Bible. Yes.
Nice.
Every mini comic ever published, collected into one volume. Yeah.
Wow.
Was there anyone famous doing the art and the writing or anything?
Yeah, Bruce Timm from Batman.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There's Mark Texiera.
Oh, that's right. I
him.
did see that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's it. Maybe a couple other ones.
Yeah, how about that?
Pretty cool.
I remember when I was a kid, I got some Orange Julius cups that had He-Man on them, and they had little comics on the side.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Oh, yeah.
Michael,
Where'd
do they
they
have
put that in the book?
they have Orange Julius in Canada, Michael?
Yes, I know we used to. I'm not sure if we do anymore, but we definitely used to.
I'm shocked at that. All right.
Yep.
All right. So 1 out of 10, Michael, what you give Masters of the Universe?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm on the fence. Maybe, I don't know. I'm hovering around a 5, I think. Still enjoyable, but maybe a 4. I don't know.
Yeah, I was kind of leaning
4.5.
more towards 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 4 is about right because it's a kid's book, so you don't want to be too harsh. But at the same time, there's
Sure.
a lot of weird choices here, and I don't know. The ending was just a major letdown. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh,
a lot of trying to make things work when they didn't really work, and even the explanations still didn't fix it. So,
Right.
yeah.
Like you
been
said,
better.
Orko's characterization here is weird. Like he's not the
Right.
lovable little goof Orko that I remember. He's kind of not that nice. All right, so there it is, Masters of the Universe. Not the best Jankuar, I got to say. It's been. Oh well, we did have Black Diamond last week. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
well,
Colt.
don't forget we had Booster Gold. Hello.
That was the part of the.
That was the
bad
peak. It was all
Jankuar.
downhill after that.
All right, we got 1 week left in Jankuary. Let's make it count. What's up next?
All right, so I wanted to end January on a strong note here. So there's something that I know you guys have not done yet.
Ooh.
I think it's time.
Whoa.
Some big name creators here: Chris Claremont, Frank Miller.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, what is it?
Wolverine.
Oh, I didn't. Mike L was celebrating. So
Oh,
I didn't
sorry,
hear.
I was yelling.
Oh, Wolverine.
Yeah. Let's do Wolverine #1.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the 4-issue limited series.
The limited series we're doing, not the
Yeah. Not the ongoing.
yeah.
The limited series.
I used to own this, and I
still
sold
do.
it. I sold it to get a bunch of hockey cards
Oh, the crime.
when I was like 15 or something. I like hockey better, so all right, we'll get hockey cards. Yeah. So how about that? Wolverine issue 1 of the limited series. This was a 4-issue limited series, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is correct.
This is where he goes to Japan, right?
Yeah.
Yes, partially the inspiration for the second movie, right?
Yeah, a
That's
little
true.
bit, I guess. Yeah.
Yep. Follows the plot pretty
Less
closely.
robots,
just
silver
don't do it well.
samurais, but
Yeah.
yeah.
And this is
Awesome.
also where we get the two ladies, right? We get the one lady who he's going to marry, and then the one lady who
Mariko and Yukio.
Yes.
the good girl and the bad girl.
Yeah, good stuff. I'm a big fan.
Isn't Yukio
Yeah, this is a great
responsible
book.
for making Storm into Mohawk Storm as well?
Yes.
Oh, I forgot about that. But that was in the X-Men series, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Not in this. But,
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, when they went to see Wolverine in Japan, I believe.
Okay. Oh,
Because of
yes, by Paul Smith. Yep.
Yeah, those two issues were awesome, by
Yep.
the way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Wolverine, what, is this 84? Did this come out in, or
82.
82?
82, yeah. I'm looking at it right now. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Solidly in that Bronze Age.
Yeah, good pick, Jank. Good pick.
Very good pick.
Yeah.
Well, okay, before I even say anything, I admit this is probably going to be better than Booster Gold. Right? I admit it. Anyway. There you go. So be sure to join us next week for the 4th and final episode of Jankuary. And yeah, so every week we pick a different Bronze Age comic. 1 week I pick, 1 week Mike Dell picks, sometimes Kevin Jank picks. Every episode is available under Comic Book Syndicate, under Stitcher, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. We're also available on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and the Comic Book Syndicate website. So until next Tuesday, disperse!